Another brainwashed media story coming out the news today. Of course, we have RT back again to push the propaganda, push the brainwashing, okay? And we notice, like my man out of They Live, we notice everything, okay? And that's why we are going to put on my sunglasses, okay? Because we notice absolutely everything, guys. We notice the obey, we notice the flipping persecution, we notice everything. So, putting glasses on today. And everyone, if you're wearing sunglasses, put your sunglasses on, okay? Because we gotta report on some mainstream media, alright? Which the mainstream media is dead. You know, we are the mainstream media, okay? County Gains and a bunch of other news channels that I see popping up across Ireland. We are the mainstream now. There's no such thing as mainstream media. RT, the Irish Times, News Talk, the Irish Independent, Joe.ie, all these channels are dead. DEA dead, okay? Because it's very evident in today's news story that they're just lying straight up to the people. Okay, so the name of this segment, the name of this highlighted news article is called Garda Reports, Garda Figures Show Significant Decrease in Reported Crime this year. Ah, yes, decreased crime. But funny that, because every single day on YouTube, I report another stabbing, another person coming to the country and threatening kids, threatening to stab kids. We have a mass unrest of this far left movement going crazy, doing terrorist attacks, you know, breaking into Shannon Airport, you know, breaking down fences to spray paint planes of US soldiers, and just a complete shit show. The whole country has gone into chaos. But no, RTE are forefront in the media. They're saying that crime has actually decreased, okay? But a lot of people are not as savvy as me. A lot of people, okay, don't understand this is what this is what the mainstream media do. And if you guys look at exactly the key word here, and the key word is reported. So it says Garda figures show significant decrease in reported crime this year. So there's still tons of crime happening. Matter of fact, crime has skyrocketed, okay? Stabbings, murder, robbery, all this type of stuff. But it just hasn't been reported. Because people have given up. The people of Ireland have given up now. Okay, we don't even want to report crimes anymore because we know that either the Gardaí won't show up or Judge Nolan won't prosecute you. You know, you could have 4,000 pictures of kids, you know, doing heinous stuff and being assaulted on your phone, on your laptop. You know what happens? Let off scot-free. Hey, you're good to go, absolutely. You know, while Judge Nolan probably says, send me a couple of those pictures. You know what I mean? But we won't get too much into it, guys. But we all know what's happening over there. So we're going to scroll through this article, read this article, see exactly what the hell is going on. So this is by Paul Reynolds, the crime correspondent for RTE. And let's just zoom in on this guy. Yep, absolute dork. Bought and paid for. Yeah. Okay, bingo. Paul Reynolds, you are done, my friend. Okay. Endo story. Okay, so this one says, Gardaí say there's been a significant decrease in robbery, burglary, violent disorder crimes against the person, and theft offenses this year. Okay, now the year isn't over. Okay, it's only May. It's only the end of May. It's coming up to June. So the year isn't over yet. But for some reason, they decided to publish an article saying that the overall crime has decreased. Ludicrous. Provisional Garda figures for the first 3 months show a decrease across all property crimes, but an increase in organized crime and fraud offenses compared to the same period last year. So, and bear in mind, guys, these figures are kind of skewed. It lies by omission, okay? It's not telling us the bigger picture, okay? It's not telling us that crime overall has gone up over the last 10 years, like significantly. It's just said that, yeah, maybe the first 3 months of this year, maybe crime has decreased by 2%. When in reality, over the last 10 years, you know, crime has skyrocketed 10,000% or, you know, 100,000%, some absolute ludicrous number. The stabbings every day, like I said. So Gardaí say these increases are linked to an increased reporting and detection. Okay, so of course, you know, organized crime is not a good thing. You know, that is pretty terrible. For that to increase, you know, that means that the crimes aren't being cracked down upon, you know, at the top. You know, it just means that now the kids that are smoking weed on the side of the road are getting busted more, and they're going to jail for a few months, while the big top dogs, the guys that make all the money, the Pablo Escobars of Ireland, are, you know, not getting caught, and they're making more money. The official CSO crime figures, which are based on Garda statistics, are due to be published in the next few weeks, so I can't wait for those. Tune into county gains for those, guys. Gardaí publish provisional crime figures in the Commissioner's report every month. Robbery is down 25% across the country. Okay, so the figures for reported crime in the first quarter of this year show significant reductions in most categories. There were decreases in all categories of property crime, with resident burglaries down 17% to 15 a day across the country when compared to the same period last year, with aggravated burglary with violence down 30%. Robbery was down 25%, while robbery from a person, which is like mugging someone, okay, it was down 27%. Theft offenses were also down, people by 30% and cars by 32% and shops by 6%. There were also 300 fewer incidents of theft from people in Dublin. Okay, bicycle theft was also down 14%. 8,300 people arrested for shoplifting. Now, that is a lot of people, guys. Bear in mind, we also don't know the figures by ethnicity. Okay, like, do we actually know about what ethnic people, like, are the Roma Gypsies doing this? Are there people from Albania doing this? Are there Algerians doing this? Like, nobody knows who actually commits these offenses. Like in America, guys, they have these websites where you can go on. It's called like heyasshole.com. I saw it recently on Theo Von, where you can actually go on and see how many shootings were in Chicago, like by race, by city, by county, by this. It like breaks down everything really, really perfectly for you, so you can understand what exactly is going on. There's really specific numbers. Okay, now Chicago has a big population, probably around the same population as Ireland. Okay, so I don't really understand how in Ireland we actually can't figure out how to do that ourselves, guys, to be perfectly honest. So there were some increases in offenses. So here we go. So some actually increased. Public order was up 2%, while fraud was up 61% due to the high number of Section 19 referrals, and shoplifting was also up 2%. However, Gardaí say Operation Target, that's an Irish word. Operation Targa, that's it. Sorry lads, I was trying to get my Irish pronunciation there. Operation Targa. Over 8,300 people were arrested for shoplifting in the last 12 months, increase of 8%. Okay, because they started cracking down on shoplifting, which is, these big, hefty Roma gypsy bitches, these big hefty women that wear the long dresses. They go in and they just stuff their top full of, and their dresses full of shit, like from Mr. Price. I mean, guys, let me tell you something. If you're shoplifting from Mr. Price or Deals, you don't even have to, you shouldn't even go to jail, in my opinion. You should just be just a waster for the rest of your life. You're gonna be, I mean, you should go to jail, in my opinion, actually, but you're a waster. If you can't afford a €2 for food, okay, in Mr. Price or Deals, you need to join. You need to just, you're just destined to be a bum the rest of your life, honestly, okay? So over 20,000 charges were preferred, with an increase of 30%. Okay, organized crime increased. Okay, shootings were up 8%. Oh, that's good. The crimes that really doesn't matter, some of these robbery offenses, whatever, it's okay, you're not going to die. But shootings, probably going to die, guys, up 8%, and drug dealing up 16%, and murder and human trafficking also up, but based on low numbers of 10 incidents each. So there was 10 incidents of murder and human trafficking. Yeah, that's not good, guys. In the first 3 months for it to be up like that, well, like I said, over the 10-year period, it's up, 1,000% probably. The Gardaí Drugs and Organized Crime Bureau seized almost 22 million worth of drugs in the first 3 months. Overall, sex offenses and domestic violence remain the same, with Gardaí attending over 15,000 domestic disputes in the first 3 months. That seems quite high. 15,500 domestic disputes in the first 3 months. Like I said, guys, there's only 5 million people in Ireland, maybe 6. That is a lot of people. Like, we need to actually, divvy up those numbers and try to get like a ratio, because that's a lot. Gardaí say fatal and serious traffic collisions decreased by 40%. They said there was 130 traffic conditions where people arrested for 70,000 fixed notice charges for drink driving, and 23 drink drivers are arrested every day. Wow, that's a lot, guys. More than 31,000 of those FCNs, these fixed charge notices, are for speeding, over 6,000 for mobile phone use, and 4,500 for provisional or learner drivers. So yeah, it's pretty, I mean, it's not massive, but it's still pretty big. Now here's where they get it wrong, guys, because it seems like RT and many other newspapers aren't in, cohorts with each other, even though they are given the same sort of spreadsheet every day. Here, talk about this subject today. In the morning, the bean counters heads, the guys that make the money, say, what is there to most talk about today? What is the most amount of money we can make today? So they say, okay, and they put this issue out. Most crimes rate drop in 2024, but murders and sexual offenses rise. So if most crime is getting lower, which nobody really cares about most crime, if it's like, petty crime, robbery from a shop from Mr. Deals, but murders and sexual offenses, people do care about. Stuff like violent crime is very bad. That basically means that your standard of living in a country is pretty horrendous. And it says that those are rising by 4% per year. I mean, that's not good, guys. That is pretty terrible. So let me know your thoughts, guys. I love you all. Like, comment, subscribe. If you guys want to drop a comment in my comment section down below, please do share the video with everybody. Oh, look what it says here. Sexual crimes increased by 8%. Oh, great stuff. So there were 38 murders last year. 38 murders, an increase of 3. So only 3 people got murdered more, which is probably 3 too many, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, sexual offenses are rising. Okay, absolutely crazy. So let me know your thoughts on that, guys. If you want to help support me push back against the mainstream, hit the join link underneath the video. Become a member today. Some exclusive membership perks. And I'll see you on the next one, man. Peace.